Hi guys, welcome to Two Stroke Running and Repairs. I know I've had a bit of a tool theme happening lately, but I've been using a lot of tools and I had some stuff to say about them, so I figure let's continue. So today I'm talking about useful tools that I've bought from Supercheap Auto. They're kind of specialty tools, some of them, and I've found them all invaluable when working on my car. A little bit on chainsaws, some of them I found surprisingly useful on smaller engines. So let's get into it. So I have a couple of different tools laid out here. I'm going to start off with just this 4-point wheel brace. This is Supercheap Auto one, but you can use any brand. And I've found keeping this in my car, it's just been so useful. It just makes when you're taking off wheels so much easier. You can get a bit of momentum happening to spin it off rather than having to wind them off by hand with the supplied tyre iron. It also means when you go to help other people change their tyres, you're more likely to have the right size lug nut wrench. So that's great. I love this. It lives in my car, and for the $10 I paid for it, it's really good. The next thing is a couple of their pullers, just a small 2-jawed puller, and then also a ball joint separator. You would have seen me use this ball joint separator in my Forester ball joint replacement video. That's what I bought it for, and it just makes popping them out so much easier than having people I see belting them with hammers and stuff. This is so easy. You just knock it in and then you just crank down on the handle and just pops it right out. Very little effort required, no pain, no fighting it really. Makes it really easy. It's really solid. I haven't seen any problems with it. The black colour also does a really good job of hiding all the dirt and stuff, so that's really good. And I really can't fault the ball joint separator. The little puller, I enjoy it. I love using it. It makes, especially chainsaw related stuff, it's great for pulling off flywheel eels on smaller saws. The small arms get in under it a whole lot easier compared to my old bigger 2-jawed puller, which have had the arms and stuff filed down to try and make fit. The only thing is that on the end of the thread it's just brought down to a point. I think I'd like to see it brought to some kind of swivelly ball point and stuff, because when you're doing a lot of cranking, I've found this can actually mushroom and damage the shaft, whereas this, just the one with the swivel end, just pushes on the end of the bolt or whatever really easily. But it's a great tool. And finally, probably the best tool I've bought from Supercheap Auto, invaluable, is their pry bar sets. And I know at the moment they're moving from their Supercheap Auto pry bars across to Toolpro pry bars. I've got both here because I must have ordered them in the change. I got these online actually, because I was doing a big order on, I think, their Christmas sale, or no, their Bathurst sale. So I got these, and yeah, I would recommend getting the whole set. You get the set of 3, and I recommend getting the big one as well. This little one, when I first got it, I looked at it and I'm like, what am I going to use that for? Excuse me, cleaning my tools here. But I use this so often for smaller engines and knocking off flywheels, prying off cylinder heads. This is basically my replacement for a flat blade screwdriver. Everything I'd use a flat blade screwdriver to pry on, now I use this for. And then as you go up in size, you just increase in universality. This one, I think it's probably an 18-inch. This is the most useful. It's kind of a good size in between. You can get some good prying on it and some good leverage, but still get into tight places. The big one here, Big Bertha, it's not huge. It's only a 24 4-inch, I think they call it. I don't know, you don't quote me on sizes. Let's see. Yeah, 2-foot pry bar. That's really good for working on suspension work and stuff and just really heavy prying. The one thing I noticed is that from the Supercheap Auto pry bar brand to the Toolpro, they've gone from more of a soft gloss finish to a harder, more shaped, different plastic. And I have to say that I'm kind of in two minds about this. I like the hard plastic, it's a lot nicer to beat on and really pry on, it doesn't want to squish out of your hands. But also I've found that it scuffs up a whole lot more and it holds dirt a lot more. Whereas the more gloss finish, it's a little bit squishier and especially an oily hand slipperier. But it cleans a whole lot easier. As for the metal on the blade, they are quite a soft pry bar. And I think if I was to upgrade, I would go upgrade to something like a king chrome set if I could find them on sale once these break. Just because the metal on these is quite soft, and when I've been trying to get them into places, the metal has, it's kind of deformed and squeezed out of the way. Not so much on this one, but especially on the smaller one on the tip there, and on the really large one on the back of the pry bar and on the front there. It's been quite a fair bit of deformation. That's probably the only thing. I'd like to see a harder metal in the, if they put a harder metal into their blades or whatever you want to call them, these would be excellent pry bars. But I'd still recommend them as a first set of pry bars, or someone who does similar stuff to me, less heavy duty work. But if you want you're planning on prying on big tractors and stuff, maybe go to a different brand like King Chrome. I've used my mate's King Chrome ones, and metal is just as good as the day you bought it. Blades are just as sharp, no deforming and mushrooming or anything. But yeah, all these tools are great tools from Supercheap Auto. I would definitely recommend someone just working on their own car, smaller car, small engines. Definitely worth investing in these tools. They're not that expensive, so even if you buy it for a one-off job, it's definitely worth it. So guys, thanks for watching Two-Stroke Mining and Repairs. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching all these tool videos that I'm putting out. Just kind of had a bit of a light bulb moment, and I wanted to talk about tools. So thanks for putting up with that, and I'll see you on the next episode, hopefully working on something.